himself to calculate and kind of be skeptical a lot of whether tactics work for his opponents. And like you said, there he's feeling the pressure very similar to Stockfish, and is like, you know what, I'll just give back material and talk a little bit about that. Wesley's ability to kind of remain objective and what makes him like such a cold-hearted calculator.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's a special Wesley thing. I mean, I
Probably
would
only
say he's a bit
Magnus
more
maybe does it at the same level as him in some ways, as far as like hardcore
right.
calculation.
That's right. But unlike Magnus, like Magnus sometimes plays moves that are bad, or he knows they're bad, and he like Wesley's a bit more risk adverse,
Right.
and he just can't. He's programmed himself. No, I'm. That's
Program
not a
himself.
good
I
move.
like
I
that
can't
word. He
play.
can't program himself to do that. Whereas Magnus will purposely play a move that he
Yeah,
knows is sort of drawing on his opponent to
yeah,
maybe make a mistake, despite the fact that objectively, you
yeah.
know,
So it's a plus and negative. You'll
yeah,
hear the critics; they'll give their perspective because if it's a draw, it's a draw.
right.
But on the other hand, Wesley loses less games than most of his colleagues as well
Right.
because of that approach.
Well, shout out to Liquid Egg Product, who made our first donation here that went directly to the prize fund. We also had some other bits donated. Sorry about that earlier, but thank you to everyone. It's something I haven't even
Yeah.
mentioned yet in today's match. Of course, all proceeds, all donations, all bits, and any purchases from the merch store today go directly to the prize fund of the players. So if you're feeling
Yeah.
frisky and you need a chess.com coffee mug, I got to send you one, Eric.
Yes, please,
Today
please.
it goes
I'd
to the
like
players.
you can. It has to be in person though. In person delivery. I'm. You're like the milk delivery guy. I want Danny at my front door.
If I show up at your door carrying, like, bearing gifts of sorry, that was, I made myself laugh. Whatever that is, frankincense and gold, is that it? I don't know.
I don't.
If
I
I
don't
show up bearing gifts of coffee mugs, then uh, that would be fun.
You would be a good pizza delivery guy. Very
I'd get
social,
involved in
friendly face.
too many nefarious situations, I would imagine. They'd ask me to pick up some things on the way. You know me, I can't say no, can't make people
No.
unhappy, child of divorced parents. Before you know it,
But think
I'm in
about
some
all the
bad spots.
accents you could pull off,
Oh
all the
man. Oh,
praise
you're
you
right.
could
That
talk.
could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, back to Wesley being white. Still no decisive results in this match. The opposite of Duda Grishuk right now.
I want to mention one thing about Wesley
Yep.
is despite some of the things we talked about at the Olympiad, his games against lower rated players, he just ran them over, and they're very, very instructional to see how a top player dismantles,
Right.
like someone lower rated, like someone like me. But so he was in those games, he had this like he did go pretty he did have this out for blood
No, that's a
approach.
good point. Who do you think some of the best top players are to follow as far as that, the way they're able to dismantle lower rated players? I think
So
Hikaru for a long time was one of those guys who just, his games
yeah.
against lower rated players were so much more instructive than anybody against anybody in his peer group, because he just has a way of exposing weaknesses of that next lower tier GM. But who would you say are some instructive games to follow on that note?
Giri and Giri Anish is very good at these
Yeah.
team events too. He had a high drawing rate against some top players, but once you bumped him down a little bit, he just farms. He was.
Yeah.
I saw him with a smile every single day, pretty much.
Right.
Even at the urinal, I think he was just thinking about how much rating he's gaining from beating. I saw him in the battle, just like he just beats all the 2600s.
Right.
They do not have the defense of guys like Vichy or Magnus or something. So I think Anish, a lot of the solid players are not so solid when you play them.
Right, when you give them somebody they can
in balance.
Yeah, they can be a little more aggressive against. So, all right, well, Vidit once again holding his own, and also one pattern. We're now 3 games in, so we can maybe feel like we have the legs to point out our first pattern. Time management hasn't really been an issue for either player. These guys have been, it feels to me, within 20 or 30 seconds of each other in every game. So we'll see if that repeats. And I think Wesley, in some ways, may be a faster calculator, but if Vidit comes prepared to be fast on the chess.com interface, that could be a very important point for the match.
Yep.
The Rook B2, I'm liking black again, Eric.
I think no, for sure. I think Vidit is getting good positions.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have to convert these. I think it's very important to get in Wesley's head early. Get that
Right.
win, earn some of that respect there because he's gotten good positions, and you don't get that every day against Wesley, especially in the opening. I mean, Wesley's been playing E4, right? He
Yeah.
could play D4, C4, and make things a little more solid. So I think he's got to take advantage of these imbalances.
But what an interesting maneuver there by Wesley, right? It's almost like Vidit played these optically easy moves, rooks to the open file, and the bishop relocates from A2, giving up the F7 diagonal to C2. I kind of like this plan from Wesley, and now I have moves like knight C4 coming. I've got tricks with E. Ooh,
Yeah,
I was wondering if he could do it, and he does.
Yeah.
The point, everyone, is there's this battery poking at the H7 spot, and if you trade on E5 and the queen takes it, you have knight C4 at the end forking the queen and the rook. So is E5 just game over? Is that our first blunder of the match? Look at that.
That looks like it, because after knight c4, I don't see how I protect the material. I had just had the weirdest thing. I felt like this was deja vu.
Yeah?
Yes, deja vu. This exact position. I don't know if you ever get that in chess, but I feel like we've talked about this position before.
I get deja vu in terms
of
of blunders all the time in my sleep.
it's
We just had
tripping,
some bits thrown out for my Firkin sense and go. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know why that made me laugh so much, but thank you for all those making fun of my whatever. I need a little more coffee apparently, but all right. No, E5. I love it, and as much as we were just touting Vidit's approach, I feel like we were right to criticize these optically superficially good rook moves, but they weren't very good for putting the rooks on the B file.
So take on c2 here.
You have to, right?
White takes on f6, I take on d2 and just try to bail out.
Down the exchange.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because he's getting low in time. He's got to make that decision. I think everything else looks worse actually, and that's a practical choice. At least you got the pawn, outside pass pawn, and the bishop. It's not enough, but
right.
I mean, he's facing just like getting mated here or down a piece. So
very instructive comments there from Grandmaster Eric Hansen. For those of you who are here to learn things, just how quickly strong players recognize the writing on the wall, and then you remove yourself from the emotion or the frustration that you blundered if you're Vidit, and recognize you have to make the best practical exchange sacrifice. And I think keeping this bishop that Eric pointed out is probably the best one, because it gives you the best chance to hold the A pawn. So anyway, just very important that I think a lot of players miss their chances after they blunder, Eric, to immediately simplify, and then so one blunder leads to another, right? But strong players don't get as emotional about their blunders, maybe because they've made so many, but it makes them stronger now.
I feel like that. I feel like it's helped that I've blundered so many times in my life that I'm desensitized.
Right.
Especially in Blitz, though. There's a lot of perfectionists who play chess, but in Blitz, everyone blunders, and you just have to.
Wow, look at this move, Rook E1. I feel like it's a very strong.
Rook E1 is very strong, and it doesn't help that Vidit spent so much time looking for an alternative that he just won't have any resistance here. This is over. Maybe Queen E4.
Yeah, Queen E4 looks good.
Sorry, Queen E4 C3 is hanging. I forgot. I thought the Queen on C6 was.
And I thought we could take on E8 if Knight C3, but I forgot he could take with the Queen. So yeah. Okay, so not Queen E4, but I mean, Ooh, Rook takes A4. Why not? If Rook takes, there was Rook takes.
Just Queen takes A4 in the end. The knight on D5 is hanging.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, one last little trick there from Vidit, poking at G2. White says no, thank you. And
C4, push them.
C4, push them, baby. And yeah, we have our first decisive result, almost like you.